Yeah, you. I can see you. Fear my mighty roar. Arrgh! Why haven't you become a member of the M37 community yet? Click that subscribe button now, or I will come through that screen and grab you with my mighty claws. Arrgh!
Hey, what's happening, fellas? Hey, I just came across this Mod 15 OATHBOUND PALADIN class changes, and I was thinking, what the heck? Let's get on here and go over this with our viewers and our subscribers. Some interesting news. So, Mod 15 is going to bring some changes to the OATHBOUND PALADIN class. I guess that will include your prop pallies and your devotional loadouts, you know. One changes the other. Hey there, OATHBOUND Paladins. Paladins has always had some issues with their animations and general attack flow. But we've finally gotten it into a place that feels really fluid. A handful of attacks have been adjusted so that they complete their animation faster. Woo, that sounds good. Chain into other powers faster. Woo, another positive. And don't get interrupted by other powers you're trying to use. Hey, that'll be really good. Because I'm going to tell you, I'll go to throw Shield of Faith out. And I'm like, why didn't my Shield of Faith go? What's going on? What? Hey. You know, because I'm sitting here doing all these other little powers and counter moves. And I'm trying to throw them shields out. And they're not getting out there in time and people die. You know. You're usually pretty good about doing that, but it does happen sometimes. So if the other powers aren't going to interrupt them, that's going to be awesome. Interrupted by other powers you're trying to use, they don't get interrupted by. Cool. We have also increased the base damage of their powers by roughly 14%, so we're getting bigger. Awesome. In an attempt to get their solo gameplay to feel a bit more engaging, we found that a lot of paladins were killing things very slow. Hey, yeah, you just now finding that out, fellas? Hey, it's been going on for a while. Pointing my finger at you. Okay, and while this won't get them all the way there, it is a good boost. Note that this isn't in addition to animation times being more smooth. So you already got 14% increase in your damage now. And you're going to be faster with the punches. So you are likely to see a boost even higher than this 14%. Woohoo! This is exciting. There are some changes to the Devotion Paladin passive aura. We felt that their healing was very high and wanted to tune it down a bit. Now, I do have a passive aura. I forget what it is. I think it's the Aura of Divinity that heals 3 players, but I don't use that anyway. Or no, that wouldn't be a passive aura. Well, yeah, it would be passive class feature. Once you put it in there, it's just working. You don't do anything. Maybe that's what they're talking about. But they say it's too powerful, so they want to tune it down. Whichever passive aura they're talking about, I'm not sure, but we don't think it will really cripple their effectiveness. In turn, we wanted to make sure that their buff is applied whenever you heal an ally, instead of encouraging allies to take some kind of damage just to be buffed. Yeah, when we heal an ally currently, it gives them 5% stat increase, right? So now, if we don't have to heal them to get that stat increase, they're automatically going to be getting the, I think it's 5%, might be higher than that, stat increase. The final things that have been changed are in relation to the feat trees. These changes are mostly minor tuning and quality of life adjustments, but we want to experiment with the bulwark tree a bit. Head Unbowed and Holy Barrier have been reworked and are now much more powerful. If you're looking for a cooldown, Damage build Justice will still be your go-to tree, but the Bulwark build should feel a bit fresh and a bit different. Getting a little bit of a buff, but not going to be as good as your Justice tree still yet. Alright, all damage increased by 14% is your baseline here. Divine Call now has priority in being cast and will not be interrupted by other powers. Okay. Divine Call can now be activated while blocking. That's good. Sacred Weapon activation time slightly reduced. Sacred Weapon now has priority in being cast, will not be interrupted by other powers. Templar's Wrath activation time slightly reduced. Bane activation time slightly reduced, which is awesome because it takes a while to get 3 Banes up on a Devotion Paladin. Especially if you're trying to Bane a boss and Bane a DPS or Bane 2 DPSs. Cleansing Touch activation time slightly reduced. Cleansing Touch now has priority. So all these abilities have priorities. So basically, if I hit my shield, my priority, and hit my shield of faith, hit my vow of enmity, because it's going to have slightly reduced. It has priority also. So when I hit an encounter, the other encounter is still going to be cast, and that encounter is going to be cast. It's just going to go in priority now. So that seems like instant casting, the way I'm understanding this, which is awesome. Awesome, yeah. Okay. Banishment now has priority. I don't use that. Okay. Valve Enmity has priority. That's awesome. Absolution is massively reduced. That is awesome. Because if you are running with a GF and you got another tune that or DPS, even if you're just the DPS or the boss, you're baning them, you're going to want to throw that absolution onto your GF, because the absolution is going to give them a shield, and I think they got a feat. When shielded, they get so much extra damage. And plus, when you're running with GF, do not use a lot of people running Devotion Clerks don't know this, and even some of the DCs don't know this, but cleansing takes away their buff from them, buddy. And they get really upset over that, because that steals their DPS, especially if they're a high DPS. They do not like to be cleansed. Okay, Relentless Avenger, tell me that you took away the knockback. Relentless Avenger, activation time slightly increased. Activation time increased. Now has priority in being cast, will not be interrupted by other powers. So they didn't take the knockback away from it, and they made it the time increase slightly. Well, see, the thing about Relentless Avenger for us, if we're needing to use Shield of Faith excessively, and it's taking you too long to build up your AP in order to cast it again, on a boss fight, it's not going to knock anything back. And if you take it and replace it with your Vow of Enmity, which is going to do away with some healing, because people who hit it are being healed, and plus it's causing damage for you, increased damage for you. And with your Bane, your Bond of Virtue, if ads come out, it's going to be doing damage to that too. But anyway, you can replace the Vow of Enmity with Restless Avenger and keep spamming that to hit into the boss, and that's going to practically instantly raise your AP back up. But with that increased time, I don't know if that's going to be work as good as it does now on that or not, but it should, because it's just slightly. But anyway, you can keep using that Relentless Avenger, and boom, shields. Relentless Avenger, I don't know, 2-3 times right now for me, and boom, you throw shields again. Your circle of power now has priority in being cast. Will not be interrupted. Radiant Strike activation time slightly reduced. Good. More DPS there. Because it's faster. Activation time slightly reduced. So we're getting a just combat speed here, buddy. Lay on Hands now has priority in being cast. Shield of Faith now has priority in being cast and will not be interrupted. Divine Judgment activation time slightly reduced. Heroism activation time reduced. Your healing is increased by 75%. That is down for 25% because it used to be 100%. So that we'll have to see how that works out. We put out so many heals anyway. I don't think it's going to be a problem, especially if people are geared right. We've got a solid build. It should be not a problem at all. Definitely should not be a problem in game. But here's one thing though. I carry a lot of people in, pugs through. I've even carried some through tone, just keeping them alive, basically. And CN, new people, I carry them through CN all the time. Low gear, item level. So that might run into a little bit of issue there, maybe, I'm not sure. Oath Devotion now increases ally stats for 10 seconds, up from 8 seconds. Oath Devotion increases ally stats for 10 seconds. Okay, every time they're healed, they get the stat increased. So you're constantly going to be with the stat increase because you're all the time going to be healed, and you no longer have to actually heal hit points in order to get that stat. So that stat's pretty much always going to be there, except when you're out of combat and you're not getting healed. Okay. Oath Devotion will no longer requires you to actually restore hit points on the target. Yeah. Shielding Strike. We figured that one out. Shielding Strike, the third hit of this combo now grants the Paladin a shield equal to 3% of their maximum hit points. Previously, it granted an absorption buff that was only 1%. Okay. So that's if you use Shielding Strike, that's good. Sacred Weapon fixed an issue where the power would not correctly expire after 3 attacks for Devotion Paladins. Sacred Weapon damage is lowered by 17%. Wow. Sacred Weapon healing increased to 20%. That's 5% increase, up from 15%. Sacred Weapon bonus healing duration is increased 10 seconds. So that's up from 8 seconds, so that's a 2-second increase. Area of Solitude, Dominating Presence no longer increases the range of this aura. Okay. Or a Solitude no longer considers a companion as an ally. That is good, because that's a significant. When you're solo and you don't have anybody in the party, you're all by yourself, that's a significant increase in your DPS. And now you can also keep your companions out. So that should be awesome in doing dailies and weeklies, because you're getting all that bonding and all the benefits from the pet, and plus now you get the oh, here comes my train, a choo-choo. That is my lawn ornament. I hope you guys can hear it. I would be so upset if you just couldn't hear the magnificence of my lawn ornament. It is such a powerful thing. People come from all over just to watch me and my lawn ornament out here. I'm the only one around can afford a lawn ornament of that expense. Well, actually, it came with the place when I bought it. Well, hey, it was kind of a little bit of a bonus. Okay, anyway, let's get back to where we was at. Yeah, I like this. This is good. Feats. Justice, Shining Beacon duration is reduced to 10 seconds. That's down from 15, so we lost 5 seconds on the beacon. Now states that your recharge speed is increased by 15%, functionally unchanged. Good. That's a tooltip change, okay. no longer, it has a cooldown of 60 seconds. How long is the cooldown then? Is there a cooldown even? No longer has floater text appearing when applied. So he must have took the cooldown off. No cooldown. Alright, you know, time might be reduced down, but there's no cooldown, so I means I can keep that up, right? Cool! Now triggers whenever you take damage while below 50% hit points. Okay. Stem the Tide no longer considers a companion as an ally for this feat. That also plays with your solo and with dailies and weeklies if you take that feat. I don't think I did, but that's okay because at the time this was not a good feat, and probably I wouldn't trade it anyway for what I do have, because what I do have is for group. Okay, slow reduced to 20, up to 20%, down from 25, 5% change. It's taken, damage taken is increased to 10%. That is actually up 5%. This, okay, Stem to Tide, this power should no longer put the player in combat stance. Cool, that's really good. Radiant Champion movement speed is reduced to 20%, down from 5%. Now see, I don't like that because we're so slow anyway. I've got all rank 11s or 12s, I'm not sure, dark enchantments in my utilities, and I'm still outran. And I've got a fortune in those daggone enchantments and all my utilities for speed. And I still get outran. I am still almost the slowest one in every run that I get into. And they took that down for 5%. That is the one thing I can say that I really don't like about the changes. Right there. Right there. Don't like that. Cooldown reduction is also increased by 5%. A total of 5%. Okay, don't like that. But for all the other ones, improvements though, okay, I guess I'll have to live with that. Alright, Bulwark. Now there are ways of increasing your speed other than just your dark enchantments. But I was thinking, well, hell, if I get my dark enchantments all up to rank 11 and 12, I won't have to worry about my speed no more. Wrong. Even sacrificed out my utility gems that gave me the bags every day that I saved up to open up at the end of the or at the time when they do the double refinement enchant. But I even sacrificed those out for that. That was a big sacrifice, man. But yeah, there's things you can do to improve your. We're not going over that. We're going over this, so I'm not going to get into it. Bulwark. Okay, the Bulwark head. Unbound reworked. You now generate 10% of your divine energy bar each second. Holy Barrier. While in combat, you build stacks of barrier every second. By using your powers and activating Divine Call, will consume all stacks of the barrier to grant you a shield of 10%, 0.5 per stack, of your maximum hit points for 15 seconds. While the shield holds you, are granted 20% movement speed, but that's if you're using the Bulwark build. Critical strike chance, deflect chance, incoming healing, and recharge speed. Barrier may stack up to 100 times. Wait a minute, you get a shield for 10%, and it can stack up to 100 times and 20% movement speed. What? 20% movement speed times 100? What? Shield for 10% of your total hit points for 15 seconds. Recharge barrier may stack up to 100 times. Okay. Very interesting right here. That's awesome, man. Some good changes coming to the Oathbound Paladin. Well, this is M37. I wanted to go over that with you guys, and I sure hope you enjoyed it. and I hope you're excited about it. And I am out of here. I'll see you guys later.